is gonna push you that little further ahead. But in my case, I was already dominating without the AP. So what I'm going to do is get the rod first, secure my health. I can stay in lanes longer, fight 2v1s, 3v1s even, and that's why I went Rod of Ages, because it was so early to get it. I was sitting on who knows how much gold already before I went back to finish, and it was at 15-minute mark, and I was still sitting on like almost 2k gold. So I had a lot of options at that point.
You can see here, I'm constantly moving as Annie, and Anthony talked about that. You want to be always looking for your next thing, farming creeps, going for kills.
You don't want to sit around.
No, you don't want to be sitting around and sitting in the lane.
She drops off too. Like Annie is a hit or miss kind of champion. So as you see here, 2 moves, Tibbers and Incinerate take her down past 2/3 health, and he finishes up with a couple auto attacks and a Q. Yeah. And saving Q for last is great because it does have the longest range. So if you can't pick up your kill with an auto attack or something, just drop your Q and secures the kill. And as you see here, like the team is just doing really well all around. Tibbers at the tower, he gives it up to the tower so they don't get the gold from it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure
my Pantheon.
Pantheon comes in, secures another kill. Yeah, this is a great teamwork. Pantheon is another great champion, and even better now after the buffs.
Yeah. See, now, if I had that Rod of Ages, I might be able to stay along in that fight a little bit longer, but,
maybe that burst, that initial trade, exactly.
It's a trade-off.
And Glass Cannon Annie is really good, but I always recommend picking up Zhonya's Hourglass. You're still Glass Canyon, regardless of that little bit of 45 armor that you get from it. It's all about its activation, which makes you invulnerable to anything. You can't move or cast, but you just... a totem, like you're just there, you're stuck, and it's amazing. Like
you can see here, I'm constantly moving, and I was actually just farming a little bit more because I want that 860 gold so I can pick up another blasting one.
Yeah, for example, his team's pushed up. He knows there's no one really wandering or ganking. He was able to go in the jungle before he went back with even a little bit of life. He can easily pick up that jungle and get that little bit of extra gold to push him towards another blasting round, which he did. And now he's sitting at just under 300 AP at level 14. So that's great. That is fantastic. And so now he can continue on for other items, or even a void staff. And his catalyst, he doesn't really need Rod of Ages here. He could go into it. Depending on the situation, this team is really aggressive. I always like building Rod. It just gives you that extra life, extra mana. It allows you to cast more spells, survive the fight longer, and give you quite a bit of AP when it's maxed out.
Yeah.
I think it's 80 at the end. No,
I think so. We're gonna catch. I catch that Tar with my Tibbers, but I don't think
Tibbers has a great range because Tibbers, even though he has a radius, you can cast him at the end of your radius, which will give you even more because he's an AOE damage ability. So anything in the radius of the maximum extent will still do damage and stun if you have your passive up.
So you can see here, we're trying to invade their jungle, try and force, a mid-game fight here. It's not really working out too well for us. They caught us. We didn't get that kill target, so we're just going to back out.
A little too scattered in these fights. You really want to stay together and utilize the taunts and stuns that Tibbers and Pantheon has. There's a lot of stuns in this team, and you don't want to split up because if you split up, you're really weak.
That Pantheon got split right there, and now he has to die for it.
Alone you're weak, but together there's... Let's see, you have your taunt from Rammus, the knockup from Rammus, the stun from Rise. You have your stun from Annie, the stun from Pantheon. Like, I'm just going on with stuns here. It's great, and you really want to be together in these team fights. So that's pretty much the early game and mid game of Annie. End game, of course, you just continue to build your AP and kind of judge on where you want to go with what items you want to build. If you really need the extra AP, building double Rabadons late game is great. You get tons of ability power. Actually, I was playing last night and did a troll build because I went complete glass cannon. I went Sork boots, Rod of Ages, and then I went 4 Rabadons. And I ended up getting around, I can't remember what it was, maybe around 800, 900 ability power. It's ridiculous. But it failed on me because people could just pick up, Banshee's Veil, or they can pick up some kind of way of being immune to you, or pick up Quicksilver Sash to get out of your stun, or just anything that counters me. And it really did counter me because I was able to be taken down a lot quicker than, Garrett gets picked up by Caitlyn on her ultimate. Knocks her down, bringing Garrett to 7-2-4. What a shame, Garrett. No.
Don't worry. It actually picks up pretty quick from here. So we talked about, like I said, I want to get that mid-game aggression. You're really going to see that shine in here. I'm going to start picking up a lot more kills, forcing those team fights. And when I talk about forcing, I mean that means putting your team in a position where you're contesting things like Dragon, Baron, blue buff, red buff.
Yep.
Those are the things.
Yep.
Those are the main focal points of mid-game where you can kind of force team fights because you don't want the other team to take your version of it.
Yeah.
You don't want them to take your blue buff. You want to make sure that you're getting those every time.
Yeah, and I will like to mention that buying wards with Annie really does help. The reason why I mention this is because I know a lot of people mid don't always buy wards. They rely on their support to come up and drop a mid for them. Drop a mid. That's really good. But with Annie, the ability to flash in and stun and get your combo off, like if you catch someone that's waiting in the grass, like waiting for their mid to catch up or come, you can initiate on them before they can on you. And with Annie's ability to burst down so quickly early to mid game, before, let's say, their jungle, let's say Jarvan comes up, or there was Lee Sin. For example, like you saw last game, I caught their Lee Sin trying to come for a gank on me with Ezreal. If I didn't catch him, it would have been a different story. Like, he could have got a stun off on me, Ezreal could have popped, it would have been really difficult. I'd have to pick my targets really wisely. Mm-hmm. And in that case, I was able to single one-on-one and a one-on-one. And, placing wards in mid is, I think, really crucial. I usually buy a ward by level 8, by level 7 if I can. Or even earlier, if I know...
It really helps your team out.
Yeah,
You're
it helps you and it helps
player.
your team out. Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, it's really good because you're able to get the initiating on them before they can.
See here, I'm constantly in movement. I was going towards mid there because Pantheon was getting caught, and now I'm moving towards bottom because, I want to get this Trundle kill. So, like we said, that movement with Annie is really important.
Yep, and, you don't want to be caught, flat-footed. She drops quickly, and... she's not meant to be, the main source of, she's an AP carry. Like any AP carry in this game, Ryze, and anyone, even like Caitlyn's or any kind of carry is very squishy for the most part. So you don't want to be flat-footed. You want to be in good positioning with Annie. And with Annie, positioning all depends on your team too. Sometimes you're relied to be the one to flash in, initiate, and get that stun off. But other times, you have a Rammus to get in there, or maybe let's say a Galio or a Mumu who can flash and stun for you, giving you time to walk up to the fight and drop your Tibbers.
But you see right here, I'm staying far back. I'm letting Rammus go in, initiate, soak a lot of that damage.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to come in here, Tibbers, land my spells. My team's going to initiate.
Yeah, and then
I
get
fall
out.
back. I get out. I use my abilities. I'm going to, wait for those cooldowns. And I'm going to go and get that Lux.
He saw the Lux, so he cuts up right to the grass. But that's what I'm talking about. He still has his flash. Well, he didn't have flash up to begin with for that fight, but he didn't need it because his tank was doing a good job getting in the face of their opponents and getting the taunts off and getting in there, allowing you to save that flash because, a lot of times where I've had to flash into stun, I end up doing my job, killing someone, killing 2 people maybe, or getting the damage in on a lot of people, but dying. And you still do your job as Annie, but, being able to survive and come back in and do a second Incinerate or Disintegrate really is going to out-damage the other team. Annie is such a great champion that you do so much damage. Like, look at that.
Just farming you. Oh, yeah, but, it helped me pick up a double kill there. We caught Caitlyn, so I was able to charge up that stun again, and I stunned her and pretty much insta-gibbed her.
Well, I want to mention that he started the game off at 1-2-1. And now ends up
2-1-2. 2-1-1, sorry.
Yeah, 2-1-1. Now he's 9-2-6.
Yeah.
So he's really snowballed quickly, and now he's kind of taking the lead, and the team's kind of working together a little better now. And that makes up for a good, good game. And Annie's a solid champion. And
like I said, I'm forcing those mid-game fights. So you see I'm getting those team fights in. I'm forcing those fights. I'm making sure that things are happening. I want to try and extend our lead as much as we can. So and Annie's constantly.
And you saw there, he has 127 CS. Almost double than what some people have in the game, and she's such a great farmer. You really want to use that Incinerate on the range creeps because it one-shots them, and try to get as many creeps as you can in the front as well because it's such a long range. Just wait for the creeps to kind of gather together. In this case, look at that. Like you take out so many creeps, you knock out the melee creeps, and you can just keep farming, and you want to keep that lead. So that pretty much shows you the early game and mid game of Annie. This is 28 minutes in, and now this is when you can start contesting for Baron and move on, like previous episodes we showed you. So I hope that really helped you guys with Annie, with early game and mid game, what kind of items to pick up. So.
So it really shows that like even if you're not having the best start with Annie, she's still an integral part of the team. So it's just it's one of those things that you never count Annie out.
Yeah, for sure. So that wraps up. That wraps up the episode 4 of Institute of War. We covered Annie tonight. like I mentioned earlier, we're going to try getting the VOD up within like 24 hours of showing.
So you guys can go back, watch it, see some footage that you might have liked. The builds, of course, that you can see there. So, we want to thank our sponsors, VVV Gaming, for letting us do the show every week.
Yep, big shout out to VVV Gaming. The organization is great. I definitely suggest you guys all going over there, checking out our League of Legends forum. We just picked up our first League of Legends team, so stop by the League of Legends forums in VVV Gaming, and just stay active, talk to everyone, and communicate. Check out our new builds. And we have a lot of guides up. So now I want to give a quick thanks to Gamer Grub, Steel Series, our boys at Game Servers, and Control Freak. And we also have music skins as well. And once again, follow us on Twitter, Institute of War _.
Yeah, we appreciate any feedback,
YouTube.
Of course, that you guys can give us. We're going to try and make this show better every week. So we want to thank our viewers for watching every week as well.
Yeah. So make sure you tune in next week. We're going to have a few little extra treats. We're always trying to improve the show. So next week, I really hope to have a cool intro for us, if things work out as planned. And hopefully we have webcam set up. So I really want to, get more interactive with you guys and get the show, kind of on a community level and get any feedback we can from you guys. So if you have any suggestions on what we can do to improve, feel free to contact us in game. My name is Gotta Be KD, and Garrett's is Garrett EX.
Yep.
And give us a shout and let us know. We appreciate the feedback, and we're really happy to do this show for you guys because it's a lot of fun and it's a great game.
Yeah. So we'll see you all next week, guys.
Yeah, next week, Thursday, 6 o'clock Pacific, and